The poem Horses by Edwin Muir is a reflection on the life he once lived when he was younger, and how he used to look back and admire the horses. It begins, those lumbering horses in steady plough on the bare field, I wonder why, just now, they seem terrible, so wild and strange, like magic power on the stony grange. So this begins with a medieval imagery to show how the working horses worked. It is the image that makes the poet question the strange beauty of horses and leads him to reminisce on the past. So now he enters his childish hour, as it says. Perhaps some childish hour has come again, when I watch fearful through the blackening rain, their hooves like pistons in an ancient mill, move up and down, yet seem as standing still. So we now have entered his childish memory, as it is. When I watch fearful through the blackening rain, so he's scared because the rain's black. Well, rain isn't black, once again we know this as a metaphor, but blackening rain here is the idea of how the soot and air pollution in the industrial era was growing, and it was making such a dark, dingy atmosphere. It makes it almost dark. And their hooves like pistons in an ancient mill. It's basically saying how the hooves of the horses are so beautiful, with their machine-like powerful qualities brought about by this simile. This is followed by the childish statement as the poet is in awe and confused with how they move. So move up and down, yet seems as standing still. This is from a child's perspective, so you know that they can't actually do that, but it occurs. Their conquering hooves which trod the stubble down, where ritual that turned the field to brown. So that's literally how they just walk and turn the field to brown. And their great hulks were seraphim of gold, or mute ecstatic monsters on the mould. Seraphim gold is it's like talking about angels, so it's comparing the horses to such a mystical, amazing, surreal creature to emphasise how beautiful they are. And oh, the rapture when one furrow done, they marched broad-breasted to the sinking sun. The light flowed of their bossy sides in flakes, to furrows rolled behind their struggling snakes. So, here we have a biblical reference, and oh, the rapture, to the end of the world. The strength and the beauty of the horses allows them to overcome the end of the world and continue ploughing the fields. As you can see, furrows is the ploughs in the fields. But when at dusk the steaming nostrils home they came, they seemed gigantic in the gloom, and the warm and the glowing with mysterious fire that lit their smouldering bodies in the mire. So, this is once again emphasising how beautiful the horses are. They're so great and powerful, and warm and glowing their mysterious fire that lit their smouldering bodies in the mire. So here this is saying the sheer power that the horses possess, and lights up the area they stand. So they're lighting up with their mysterious fire. They're making everything glow around them. It is an admiration to the strength of the horse and how gods have crafted them to be so great. Their eyes as brilliant, as wide as night, gleamed with a cruel apocalyptic light. Their manes, their leaping ire of the wind, lifted with rage, invisible and blind. So once again, this is another reference to the end of the world, the cruel apocalyptic light. Their manes, the leaping ire of the wind. So this is showing how the horses are personified as they are so beautiful that the human format is as if they are brave and they can confront the end of the world. Because they're far more beautiful than anything the end of the world could destroy. And now it fades, and I must pine, again for the dread country crystalline, where the blank field and the still-standing tree were bright, the fearful, the presence to me. So, and now it fades. The poet wishes for their memories to continue, but they cannot fathom anymore. It's almost as if half of what they've said anyway is a make-believe image from the past, because he wants to believe how beautiful these horses are. His desperation for the beautiful images to continue and show by the enjambment after it fades. It makes it more honed in. So all the use of the words in here are from the semantic field of spirituality. So that's the main sort of theme. It wants to make the horses seem spiritual and great. And then furthermore, you have a conventional A-B rhyme scheme with the use of lost rhyme to show how the ideas are lost in time.